So PrecisionOS is a simulation software platform aimed to change how healthcare providers learn and provide care for their patients. So the mission of the company is to provide safe and effective care for patients around the world. And how we plan on achieving that is to provide accessible education, which is not only authentic, it's actionable, which measures your performance, for people to learn from and access mentors around the world. The problem that we're addressing is the absence of hands-on training without putting patients at risk. And this is a problem in training as well as in practice, is that we don't have an opportunity to practice a procedure unless we're doing it on an expensive simulator or a cadaver, or in this case where it's high risk on patients. So to address that, we developed our solution to allow people to not only practice hands-on learning, but to provide them data on how they can learn from their performance to make actionable steps moving forward. There are several advantages to virtual reality. Because you can deliver this software, this really powerful software in an affordable headset, it becomes really scalable, which means that it's very cost effective. The second thing is you can actually enhance your skill through using virtual reality, and we've shown that through multiple randomized controlled trials done at several centers around North America. So VR bridges the gap between traditional learning and what we do today by being an intermediary and an adjunct to what we currently do. So we do a lot of reading, we watch videos of surgical procedures, and then we operate on cadavers or practice on simulators. Virtual reality offers an adjunct to all those solutions, providing a much more powerful way to learn while providing data on your performance. Simulation by itself doesn't give the user guidance on what they should do. So in order to mitigate against that, what we did is we created a curriculum with all our surgeon advisors, who are some of the world's experts in all of their fields. With that input, as well as aligning with the ACGME and CanMEDS frameworks, we created a curriculum to guide people on how to use the virtual reality solution we built. And this is an attempt to integrate the solution as part of the curriculum within the residency programs, as opposed to having a solution that's just provided without no guidance. So why did we study our solution with research? One of the things that's important in healthcare is to ensure that when you deliver a solution or provide a solution, that you actually ensure that the product actually delivers what you're claiming it delivers. So one of the things that was done with our software using multiple professional societies and multiple different institutions around the world is they took the time to create a strong methodology and then create a study around that methodology to test whether or not the users would benefit from our solution. And they compared it to other models of learning, which I think is important. And what that showed is that not only do you learn much more effectively, you learn efficiently and from a knowledge and a technical skill perspective. And those papers were all published in really well-respected journals around the world. Some of them are the top journals in orthopedics and in education. And I think it's an important piece that every software that's trying to change how we learn and acquire a skill should adopt that mentality, especially when we're dealing with something as high risk as education for better patient care. An example of some of the studies that were done comparing our software to another modality include comparing VR to reading a surgical procedure, reading or watching a video of a surgical procedure. Those two studies actually showed that virtual reality was far better in not only efficiency of learning, but transferring skill and reducing errors in the cadaver lab. The most recent and exciting studies done out of the US, where they compared our solution directly to a simulator, and in one case actually compared it to a cadaver, showed that the learning outcomes were actually equal. Although those studies were done in comparing those two modalities, the results are really interesting in that they show, is this the best way to learn, or can there be another option that's much more affordable and much more available? And so it really brings into question as to what we can do to accelerate the learning curve and add adjuncts to what we currently do for education. The advice I would give residents today is to seek out as many learning opportunities as possible. We learn a lot when we're in the office, talking to patients, examining patients. The other thing I would do is focus a lot on aligning what you see in the clinic with what you see on the X-ray or the MRI or the CT scan. And then take that collective thought to the operating room and think about how you would do this procedure when you're learning. The other thing that I would do is I would really try to understand and behave like you're the operating surgeon in the OR, because I think that elevates your level of thinking. So if you can always pretend that you're the surgeon in the operating room, I think it'll really change how you approach the first two parts of this, which is how you evaluate a patient and how you look at their imaging. So always think of yourself as the most responsible person in the room, because I think that'll always help you achieve the goals that you want to for your patients when you're in practice.